You hear the term AI first thrown around all the time, right? But what does it actually mean to be an AI first company? Well, it's not just about using the latest, coolest tech. In this explainer, we're going to dig into the fundamental, deep down difference between companies that just use AI and the ones that are rebuilding their entire DNA around it.
Welcome to Super Courseva, where we break down AI, technology, and future skills into simple lessons.
So let's start with a central mystery. Imagine you've got two companies. Both get their hands on the exact same cutting-edge AI, the same powerful computers, but one of them absolutely takes off, just skyrockets and disrupts its entire industry. The other, it spends millions and pretty much nothing changes. So what gives? The answer isn't in the technology. It's in the very architecture of the company itself.
And to really get what's happening with AI today, we actually need to rewind the clock a bit, back to the dawn of the internet. There's this idea called the shopping mall paradox, and it is the perfect analogy for the huge mistake so many companies are making right now.
Okay, picture this. It's the 1990s. A big shopping mall builds a website. Does that make it an internet company? Does that make it Amazon? Of course not. It was still just a mall, but, with a web page. The core of the business, how they managed inventory, who made the big decisions, it all stayed exactly the same. Now, a true internet company, like Amazon, it was built differently from the ground up, totally organized around data, constantly running tests, and, this is key, letting its engineers make critical decisions.
And that is the exact same trap companies are falling into with AI today. Just because you're using a neural network doesn't make you an AI company. That's like the mall with a website. You're still a traditional company, you just bolted on a new piece of tech. A true AI company re-architects its whole organization to do things that were literally impossible before.
So here's the hard truth, plain and simple. Using deep learning does not make you an AI company. It's not about the tool. It's about fundamentally changing your company's DNA. You have to stop thinking like a predictable factory and start acting like a living, learning, intelligent organism.
All right, so if being an AI company isn't about the latest software, what is it about? Well, it turns out you have to build your entire organization on 4 very specific pillars. Let's break them down.
Pillar number 1 is strategic data acquisition. And this is a huge mental shift. See, a traditional company thinks every single product has to make a profit. But an AI-first company, they might launch a product that's totally free, knowing it's going to lose money, all because it gathers some unique data that makes another part of their business completely unbeatable. I mean, think about Google Maps. It's free for all of us, but the location data it collects is absolutely priceless.
Okay, pillar 2, the unified data warehouse. Once you have all this incredible data, you can't just let it get locked away in different departments. In a typical company, right? The marketing team has their data, the sales team has their data, and they never, ever talk to each other. An AI-first company demolishes those walls. It centralizes everything so its algorithms can spot these hidden patterns across the entire business.
Pillar 3 is all about spotting automation. And listen, we're not just talking about robots on an assembly line. This is about identifying repetitive thinking tasks. Any job where a person has to make the same kind of judgment call over and over again, like, say, approving an insurance claim or routing a customer support ticket, that is a perfect target to train an AI on all your past examples and just automate that decision.
And finally, pillar number 4 is facing the fact that your old org chart is probably obsolete. You can't just drop this powerful new AI technology into a company structure that was designed in the 1980s. This means you got to create totally new roles, like machine learning engineers, and maybe even redesign whole teams to fit the unique, experimental way that AI actually gets built.
Now, when you put these 4 pillars in place, something pretty radical happens. It has a consequence that basically challenges 100 years of management theory. And it's all about who gets to call the shots.
Just let that sink in for a second. The classic top-down model. The CEO decides, and everyone else just executes. The model that built the modern world. In the age of AI, it's broken.
And the reason why is actually pretty simple. It's speed. The sheer amount of data flowing into your company about your customers, your products, the market, it's changing not just every day, but every single minute. There is no single executive, no matter how brilliant they are, who can possibly keep up with that fire hose of information.
So this means that power can't just live at the top anymore. It has to shift downwards. In a real AI-first company, the big decisions get made by the engineers and the product managers on the front lines, the people who are elbow deep in the data every single day. Waiting for some executive to sign off is a death sentence.
To compete, you have to trust the people who are closest to the information.
Okay, so we get the what and the why, but how does a normal, traditional company actually start this massive transformation? Well, it's not some kind of magic trick. There's a clear 5-step playbook.
So how do you pull it off? Step 1. Start with small pilot projects. Your goal here isn't profit, it's just to learn and get some quick wins to build momentum. Step 2, and this one's non-negotiable, build your own in-house team. You cannot outsource this. AI is your company's new soul. It's not just another IT project. Step 3 is so critical, broad training. Your executives need to understand what AI can and can't do, otherwise their expectations will be completely out of whack. Step 4, wait to develop your grand AI strategy. You can only do that after you've gotten your hands dirty with those pilot projects. And finally, step 5, communicate, communicate, communicate. This is a huge change, and you have to get your investors, your employees, and your customers all on the same page.
So let's just zoom out for a second, because the stakes here are way bigger than just one company's org chart. This is about the next massive wave of creating value in our economy.
For years, the story of AI has been a Silicon Valley story, right? But that first chapter, the one about building the core technology, it's pretty much written. The next chapter, the much, much bigger one, it's not going to be written there. It's going to be written everywhere else.
It's going to be written in all these so-called traditional industries. The companies in farming, in manufacturing, in healthcare, in retail, the ones that actually re-architect themselves using this playbook, they are going to be the giants of the next century. They're the ones who will unlock a level of value and efficiency we've never seen before.
And that leaves us with one final, really important question to think about. It's the same question from the 90s. The difference between having a website and being an internet company. The difference between being a mall and being Amazon. So, is your company just using a new tool? Or are you truly re-architecting your entire DNA around it? Because the answer to that question is going to define the winners and losers for decades to come.